I'm watching it now. That depends. Langley or the White House.
Which one is it?
The White House.
Be careful.
Is there a protest today?
Cartel would never do that on their own.
I'm aware. It's a probe.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Any thoughts you want to share with me?
Take a look at Mexican exports on your drive over, particularly oil.
I'll do it. It's gonna be one of those days. You got your kid in the car?
Of course. Jet at Langley?
Dulles. Where's your team?
Spread out. You know, they're off the clock.
Put them on. Get them to Bliss. We'll work out of there.
Yeah.
Careful over there.
Care for some coffee?
I'd love some coffee.
How do you take it?
Black is my first husband's heart. Fancy. You got your own mugs.
You guys don't have any?
Kind of defeats the purpose if the clandestine organization starts making swag, naming the clandestine organization. Don't you think?
We don't take him in the field.
That's thinking ahead. Want some coffee? They've got their own mugs.
Fancy.
That's what I said.
I got it.
Senior case officers build up trust issues. Once bitten, twice shy kind of thing.
You let me know when we're done dick measuring. I'll start the briefing.
Oh, we were done measuring the minute I walked in the room, Commander. We like to secure our own intel. We don't like to be fed it.
What intel are we being fed?
DIA analysts and JSOC intelligence worked with DEA and DOJ, sourcing all known cartel leaders in our database. We came up with 3 possibilities.
Possibilities for what?
This is Specialist Eleanor Vasquez, 23. She's a medic with the 82nd. No combat experience, but deployments to Africa, Saudi Arabia.
Wait. What is this?
You need a soldier to insert...
Are we talking about a lioness? Are you picking my asset for me?
This is a joint operation.
That we run. We. The minute I need air support or a combat unit, I'll be sure to call. But in the meantime, nobody picks my assets for me. Nobody. You want to choose the asset, then you choose another case officer. But let me spare you the search. I'm the only one. I'm it. I choose the asset, I choose the cover, I build the fucking plan, and I run it. Me.
That went like I expected it to. So, we'll be in touch.
Fucking CIA assholes.
I heard you. Joe!
Ugh, the fucking nerve.
Everyone is learning their way around the sandbox.
Yeah.
Joe. This may start covert, but it's not going to end up that way. It's going to end up with a bunch of Rangers seizing an airport and every squatter you know who kicking down doors like it's Kabul. They're trying to be helpful in their own way.
We have to figure the way in before we find the asset who goes in. The skill sets need to support the mission, Kaitlyn, not the other way around.
And where are we with that?
Let me get home, let me unpack, let me say goodbye to my family again. I'll sit down with my team. Just give me 3 days.
3 days?
Yeah.
I'll meet you at Bliss.
You're overseeing from the ground?
Everyone's watching on this one. And I do mean everyone.
Need her badge too?
No, you just need to read mine again. We're not asking your permission, soldier. We're informing you of the mission.
I go where I'm pointed, ma'am.
Apologies. You can take an 8-ball into the West Wing, but God help you if you forget your driver's license. Where are we?
What do they say?
You're green. Closer.
I'll give it my best.
I didn't ask for your best. I said do it.
I'll do it. I don't trust her.
Jason picked her. What don't you trust?
She's a second-generation Mexican who's never met her uncle. She doesn't speak a speck of fucking Spanish, and she's never been to Mexico. I don't buy it.
What's her intelligence training?
Nothing. She's a fucking pilot, that's it. An adrenaline junkie with a chip on her shoulder.
Treat her like you're flipping an agent. Catch her in a lie, pull the floor out from under her.
That won't mean I can trust her.
Joe, how many times do I have to tell you this? You can't trust any of them. In this segment, in 20 minutes? Then why didn't you call me in 19? So it is in this segment. Okay, thank you. I need a new assistant today.
What happened?
Nothing.
What are you waiting on to happen?
This is ridiculous. It doesn't concern you.
How do you know that? You haven't told me what it is.
Unless you're importing fentanyl through Mexico, it doesn't concern you. What? I'm telling you the truth.
CIA in the drug enforcement business these days?
Nope. Still in the sovereignty of our nation business.
You think that's funny?
I think it's tragic. I think it's a dereliction of duty that borders on treason, that the Congress refuses to act in the best interest of this nation because they're more concerned with the next election.
I thought we were going to Masseria.
Cafe Milano.
So, you're working.
We're working.
What are we working on?
The Hill has found a way to politicize the unpolitical.
The border's a terrible place to be bipartisan, Kaitlyn. You know that.
Just help me.
And how can I do that?
Just opine on the economic consequences of another high-profile target on U.S. soil. Can you do that?
3 days before the jobs report, I can do it in my sleep, sweetheart.
Attaboy. It was a probe to gauge our reaction and our appetite.
I do not credit cartels with that level of sophistication.
MSS oversaw the operation.
What is Chinese intelligence doing on the border of Mexico?
Shutting down a trade route, opening another. It's the perfect Trojan horse. And they'll continue to use it until we display the will to stop
I
them.
cannot have the army driving Humvees down streets of northern Mexico.
It won't be the army, it'll be us. It'll be quiet.
I would not call last week quiet.
No, well, last week was loud on purpose.
Well, now you have me worried.
You should be. You should be very worried. You should be terrified if it happens again. 6 weeks before a presidential election and you do nothing?
She's an army officer, Byron. I expect her to fucking tell the truth.
While you headhunt for her uncle and use her father for the introduction?
She doesn't need an introduction. That's the point.
Tone and volume, Joe. Find different levels for both, please.
Sure.
This isn't some 25-year-old blind patriot who you just wind up and point. This is an experienced officer, trained as a free thinker, used to being in command. So be careful. Be careful of taking that away from her. You'll manifest the very thing that concerns you.
Got it.
They are factoring a 10% budget increase into their equation. To believe anything else is naive. And it's extremely dangerous because the moment you become the reason they don't need a bigger budget, the bullseye shifts to you. You throw them bones everywhere you can.
Just don't let those bones land anywhere near your actual mission. They want to play special forces with some hitters, get their hands dirty day one. Seems like a pretty good idea to me. Did you talk to our sergeant?
I did.
She on board?
If you want to call it that.
I want you to call it that. If anyone needs to be drinking the same Kool-Aid as you, it's her. She's the one thing between us and a segment on 60 Minutes.
No narcotics?
No, sir.
Contraband of any kind?
Only the humankind, sir.
How difficult to confiscate that kind?
We'd like to try, sir.
Rescue missions don't give the illusion of a rival cartel.
Why does it need to be an illusion? That illusion only needs to exist for my lioness, and then only for her. At this point, anyway.
There seems to be about 300 of them, and they are on the move, Joe. This isn't surgical. This is 82nd Airborne. It's not what we do. Right now, it's still appears to be an attack by a rival cartel, so let's just keep it that way.
That's easy for you to say. You aren't the one leaving them behind.
I am the one giving the orders. I am absolutely the one leaving them behind. You're not the only mother on this call, Joe.
Now turn your heart off and your brain back on. Get the Lioness to Dallas and insert her.
May I suggest no more tandem missions with DEA?
Noted.
What a fucking mess.
Is there any chatter out there about us being involved?
Mexican authorities asking when Sonorans got helos. They think it's another cartel.
Get some buzz out supporting that. This has potential to work.
Yeah, maybe. If it doesn't cook all of our operators in the process. Hey.
Hey, there's something I want to talk to you about in person. Can you meet me at Bliss?
In person? Well, this is gonna take about 4. Yeah, I can be there by 8.
Darling, we have the Medal of Freedom dinner tonight.
Oh.
Medal of Freedom.
No, sorry. I have plans tonight. I can be there in the morning.
Okay, tomorrow. Talk then.
Mm-hmm. I'll see you then.
Well done.
Thank you. We aren't planning any surprises.
We haven't seen any plans at Foreign Intelligence, Kaitlyn. Nothing at all.
Plans are better after the fact,
When we have no say.
when there is no risk for operational security being breached.
If you can't trust the Senate subcommittee
Don't.
to keep a
Come on,
secret.
Maggie. It's too early to insult either of our intelligence.
We're married, darling, and it's best we stay that way. Nobody survives the divorce.
No one's talking about divorce. They moved their castle a little too close to our queen, and that is all. So we take a few chess pieces to remind them of the rules.
Oh. What rules this time?
Just don't fuck with our queen. You better be in the air.
Pam, I took one in the field. I need a surgical response team to meet me at the FBO.
Location of the hit?
Right side. I think it clipped the liver because the blood is really dark. And there's no exit.
Pulse?
Hold on. Fuck me. 52.
I'm diverting your flight to Liberty. SRT will meet you at Womack. Is there a med bag in your kit?
Getting it now.
Run a drip. No, I need more information. Was the co-pilot there?
He's with me.
Let him take your blood pressure.
$98 or a 51.
She's a pretty fit girl. That's a little lower than I would like. Joe, I'm hunting a hospital closer. I have something for your back pocket. The agent DEA sent over, he was working a member of the Carrillo household. The maid, he had her wired, took us on 2 suicide missions and never divulged his informant in the house. So if he had the maid, he knew security was staged across the street. And he knew it was wired into security, and he never shared any of it.
You know this how?
Things are falling apart everywhere. We turned this on them. They were the ones that told us to work with them. They were the ones that authorized the follow detail on Joe in the first place.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna do a lot more than turn it on him. I'm gonna beat him over the fucking head with it.
If I may, we have made contact with Carrillo in Dallas. We have a Lioness and the Shadow. They're embedded. Once inside, they were compromised by security personnel unknown to the operation.
Why were they unknown?
2 reasons. We were given a timeline of days to insert, giving us no time to mine proper intel. And 2, the DEA agent that was assigned to our task force has an informant working in the Carrillo estate. This information was withheld from us intentionally. So this renders everything we have done to this point as compromised, and every future operation is compromised as well.
Define compromise.
Carrillo physically assaulted our Lioness, which caused our Shadow to have to intervene, which mandated QRF to have to take control of the scene. Because killing you isn't going to satiate our appetite to do you harm for what you've done to us. So your only option to spare your family this fate, and any hint you might have of a future on this planet, is complete surrender. You have to surrender everything, every name, every connection, every link to the cartel and yourself.
You don't understand.
No, I understand everything.
You don't understand. If I made a file of it, then he would know. Then everybody would fucking know.
Polygraph him. All right, you and you're coming with me. We have to clean up a mess in Dallas.
Ma'am, we've lost comms with Joe. We have no contact.
Joe is en route to Reed.
Walter Reed.
One slipped under her armor. That's right. I might lose a best friend, too.
What if he bails?
Dump him in the river. Can I have a moment with him, please?
I'd rather you not be alone in here with him.
I'm a big girl.
Be right outside.
Well, you can understand our suspicion. You begin following a case agent, and then you bring them in on a raid across the border, and then a raid with all the trappings of an ambush. You have an informant in the target's residence. You never inform us.
I know what it looked like.
How do we move on from this? How do we find common ground? How do we not forget the reason we came together in the first place? Hmm?
It was a fluke. My cell was in my vest, which was fucking stupid.
You took a round. Wasn't about the vest. Wasn't about the cell phone. You were up against superior forces, Joe. It was reckless.
Kaitlyn, they were trafficking children.
Treating them worse than they did in Afghanistan or Sudan or Syria.
I can't wage war against a culture. Children are cash crops to these people.
Stopping a human smuggling ring was not the mission. Eradicating foreign intelligence influence over cartels was the mission, and we failed in every way. Dallas was a disaster. You had a lioness who was unprepared, and oversight from an operator with zero experience.
Didn't I fucking say this was gonna happen? I asked you for months and I got weeks. I was fed an asset. I was forced to work with outside agencies who have no experience, who might even be the ones that set us up.
They aren't. At least your contact isn't.
What the fuck is she doing here?
I asked her to be here.
What is she doing here?
Yeah, it's the same question.
This is our deal
It's
now.
a joint deal. Let's play nicely, play together. Yes, sir. You fucking all. Always makes me nervous how happy they get. All right. Know your bounds, your limits, and don't become a liability.
You're not coming with me?
No, I have to go to Costa Rica, clean up our other mess. But my advice, don't go home. He's not gonna take this well.
That's illegal. I'm not under indictment.
We don't need indictments. We don't need warrants. We just need congressional approval to act against known terrorist organizations. And as of October 22nd, your organization was listed as such.
So you're here to eliminate me.
We're here to eliminate the threat.
You could have done that in Dallas.
You're not the threat. Your brother's the threat. He's the one that's fostered these relationships that threaten us. Here you sacrifice freedom for security. But it's a prison. It's a prison of luxury. It's a prison of your choosing. But it is a prison, nonetheless.
What do I tell him you are?
You know who we are.
I can tell him that?
There can be no trust with secrets. Remember that. I think the longer you're away, the harder it is to watch. Harder still to do. Easy to forget how ugly this keeping the peace can be.
It's not what makes me sick. What makes me sick is how little will change.